Okay.
Kind of at a part right now where we're just kind of looking for certain things to do. And what's going on? Does it not like me?
I don't know what's beeping.
New beeps. There's a red light on the camera. Is that supposed to be there?
Yeah, it's the recorder. Maybe this is beeping.
That's weird. All right, well, take 3. So unfortunately, couldn't get the engine started. Kind of went through every possible option to try and crank it over. Tried to get some ATF fluid in the cylinders to maybe loosen it up a little bit. Nothing we did was getting it to crank over. Couldn't do it by hand. Snipe wasn't working. Went through what the bunch of old guys with 351s said. They knew exactly what they were doing. Everything we tried wouldn't work.
Crank attempt with new battery and new starter. Great.
So it was kind of a useless effort at that point. It was wasting a lot of time. So next step was pull the engine out. We thought that was going to be pretty easy considering it's a big engine bay and not too bad, but unfortunately we don't know exactly what we're doing.
Why didn't we drain the transmission first? Why are we so dumb? Whoops. No. Yes. Boy, that's tight. Doesn't help that I tightened it. Thoughts?
So we missed a few bolts here and there and ended up getting it out eventually. And yeah, so now we have a big greasy engine laying on the ground, and that's gonna have to go through and get cleaned. So this is the stock 351 Windsor that came out of the Mustang. Unfortunately, when we were trying to start it, it just wasn't rolling over. We couldn't turn it by hand. Something is horribly rusted shut in here. So after we got it out, we were able to take a little bit of it apart and got to notice that there's just a ton of crap built up in the cylinders. There's rust on the sidewalls as well, and it's just not in really good shape. Because we are on a budget trying to fix some things, we can't really just send this to a shop and get the whole thing rebuilt because it'll be thousands of dollars, and that just is insane. So luckily, we found an older gentleman in the north end of Edmonton here, and he had a 351 Windsor, 79 Windsor that came out of an RV. Luckily, it's pretty much the exact same engine. The heads are slightly different, but between the two engines, at least there's enough parts that we can figure out the best configuration for heads on the block, or the best running parts from both engines. Did the different intake, different heads, and the transmission should bolt straight up. So at least with both of those, we should have enough well-working parts to make a basically stock 1969 Mustang engine. We should be able to salvage the heads from the Mustang and just throw them right on. Same thing with the intake from the Mustang. Should be able to bolt right on here as well. And then it'll run much better. This one cranks freely. Everything seems to be working pretty well. So everyone always talks about the numbers matching engine, and yeah, we would love to be able to keep it numbers matching, but we're not looking to sell this car at any point. It's going to stay in the family, and we are more interested in having a running car that we can all use and don't have to spend $5,000 to rebuild. Going to keep the engines, rebuild it over time anyways, but we're more concerned about having a car that we can drive and enjoy ourselves. So that's why we're ending up swapping the engine. But still going to go through the entire thing. Gaskets, seals everywhere, probably new valves and valve seals, springs. Just kind of make it run really nice. Not going for anything crazy powerful, but we just want it to be a really solid running car. So after this is done, fingers crossed, everything runs, and in the spring we can put it back in and hopefully drive away. Looking for things to do basically on the car. It's trying to knock out as much as we can before winter hits, but I think we're a little more ahead than we actually thought we were. As long as we can get most of this engine bay cleared up, get some stuff out, and we can kind of use a wire wheel, clean it up. And then we're going to try and paint it up. And then after that, do the same thing to the underbelly. Clean up some of the parts, sandblast them, and paint them up again. And then we can kind of start them on the engine. But unfortunately, instead of being able to keep the original paint on the car, wow, that just smells like mouse pee. That's good. Being able to keep the original paint on the car, there's way too much rust on the panels to be able to just keep it, and it's going to start rotting out. So we're going to have to look for some new fenders probably, or at least some patch panels.
And we also found out that the car had been in an accident.
Yeah, the left side of the car, so it's not all original. The left side of the car, the fender, and everything has been repainted at one point. So we're not super concerned about keeping the original paint anyways. It's going to be more, let's make it look pretty, and hopefully the rust won't get at everything else and just kind of rot away, right? So there's just rust on every part of the panels. The rear, there's a lot of Bondo that I found. Same with a lot of fiberglass. So there's really no point in keeping it original like this because honestly it doesn't look right. So, you know, cut it out, make it pretty, and hopefully I figure out how to do some body work pretty well. But all this down here needs to be fixed up. Luckily it's been mostly contained to the fender, and there's also some dents and stuff here anyways. So if we can just either replace the fender or put a new patch in, I think that'll be best. The door's pretty good, but the back, there's a whole bunch of fiberglass and rust in here that has been previously patched up. So like we said before, there's no point in keeping this because this looks terrible. So cut that out, hopefully replace most of this, and luckily that's really the only rust on the car. The bottom is cleaning up pretty well with a wire wheel. Everything else seems pretty good. The interior is in really good shape. Next part is basically going to get this as good as we can, and then start some surgery on the engine. Screw up Stanley Ipkiss's car. Jim Carrey's name in The Mask. They screwed it up before he becomes the Mask, and then he goes back to like get redemption or whatever. And as he's walking in, they just the one guy's like in the engine bay and he's got a big part in his hand, and then he looks at the other guy's like, "What's this for?" Or like, "How much is this?" And he goes, "I don't know, about $500." And then he just like throws it away. And then the Mask comes in with two mufflers and he just like starts beating the shit out of both of them. Nobody else gets that joke. I get that joke. I don't know, about $400.